I know that as the new year starts, at least for the first few months or so, most people make an effort to really start to put in place their New Year's resolutions and things like that. And perhaps if this year is a space where you are looking to spend less money and looking for places where you can make some cuts, this may or may not help you, but I hope it helps. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Amanda, and on this channel I make quite literally whatever content I fancy making. In today's video I wanted to share with you 5 things I don't waste money on. So the first thing that I don't spend or waste money on, and this won't be relevant to everyone but it's very relevant to me, is a car. I live in a place that doesn't require me to have a car. I have access to public transport. It is worth mentioning that I also work remotely as well. So I feel like, is it really worth the money if the car is going to spend so much time just parked outside? I also get a food shop delivered to my home, and whenever I go out with friends or family I tend to just hop on public transport, or if there's somebody else that lives locally we can drive together. You know, there's no need for me to have a car at this stage of my life. So yeah, not currently using my license, but one day I'll get a car. This obviously will not be relevant to people that have small children, for example, or if you live in a really remote area and if you didn't drive you literally wouldn't go anywhere at all. So yeah, not relevant for those cases. But yeah, I don't waste money on a car, even though there are a lot of people that keep saying, Amanda, when are you going to buy a car? When are you going to buy me the car so that I can let it sit outside just doing nothing whilst I work from home? Next point, I don't waste money on tech upgrades. Now, I'm not an Apple user, I am one of those weird Android users. Samsung has never let me down, so I stick by them. But Apple, let's just take a moment to talk about our dear friend Apple. I have no idea what version of the iPhone we are on now. I can only imagine it's something insane, but I know people that as soon as the new one comes out they're like, I must have this phone. And you know, everyone do what floats your boat. If that's what you've budgeted for, a new phone every half a second when another one is released, go for it. But it's not something that I value, so I'm not willing to spend and splurge on constant tech upgrades. I'm good. And the next one may be slightly unusual to mention, but it's something I definitely don't waste money on, and it's the lottery. I think I've put the lottery on maybe 3 times in my life, and that's enough for me. I won't be putting it on again. And the thing is, I know like people that have been putting it on for like 30 years and they're still not millionaires yet, you know. And I just think, imagine if you had been investing instead, what your return would have been in 30 years. You know, I feel like the lottery versus investing, if you invest, at the very least you get back some of what you put in. With the lottery, most of the time you put in and then it's gone. And I don't think it's a good use of my hard-earned money. I don't go to work to get taxed to then lose more money putting on the lottery, hoping that that is what will help me to become a millionaire one day. Again, to each their own, because ultimately somebody's got to win, as they say. I just don't think it's me. Maybe it's you, but it's definitely not me, so I won't be putting any money into the lottery. And the fourth thing that I don't waste money on are impulse purchases, and this is something that I'm trying to get better and better and better at. It's kind of like a muscle that you have to keep exercising, otherwise you suddenly fall back into old habits. And what I mean by impulse purchasing, I'm talking about, you know, a bit of retail therapy. Retail therapy feels great whilst it's happening until you get home, and then either you think to yourself, where am I going to put this? I don't have space for another item of clothing, or I don't have space for another whatever it is that you would buy if you were doing retail therapy. And the other thing is that once you've got past that need for retail therapy, all you're left with is the charge on your debit card or the charge on your credit card staring at you. There's no retail therapy that can help with that. That's spoken from somebody that used to do a lot of retail therapy. No more for me. No more. I will not be enticed by another item of clothing that I definitely don't need. What I'm really trying to do instead of impulse purchasing, because my thing is more so clothing, is if I sell something, for example, I sell clothing on Vinted. So if I sell something, then I give myself the option of like, okay, some of that you can save, or you can use that money from that sale to buy something that you actually like more. But that's not really an impulse purchasing scenario, because you have to wait for somebody to actually hit buy before you get the money to make an informed purchase to replace that item that you have sold. And last but certainly not least, I do not waste money on buying things so that I am seen to have the thing that I've purchased. I hope that makes sense. So, for some people it's like, oh, I'm going to buy this watch because I know that if I buy this watch, people will think this is like, you know, great, and like, wow, look, you've got that watch, or oh, look at your car, you've got that car, or oh, look at that dress, you've got that dress. I think in 2025 and beyond, it's time to have a level of confidence that doesn't require reinforcement from other people, that you should just know that you can have that thing, or that you buy the thing because you really want it, not because you want the compliments and the looks and the stares and the comments. What's the point? You know, what is the actual point? But yeah, I would love to know what things you don't waste money on, because I could potentially learn from you. Maybe there's something else that I'm not thinking of that could go on my list of, okay, we're not going to be wasting money on that anymore. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, what don't you waste money on? And what would be interesting actually is to know what you do spend money on, what you value, what you enjoy spending money on. Perhaps there's something from the list that I mentioned. Perhaps you love a car and you can't imagine living without your car. Yeah, I'll be looking out for your comments below. But yeah, I hope you found this video interesting, and let's continue the conversation in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, and take care.